Welcome to the Daily Review. This is Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading, and today is January 10, 2025, and today is Friday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, oil rebounding, but first, major economic events for today. So at 3:30 South African time, from Canada, we have an unemployment change number coming out, and from the United States, big NFP, Non-Farm Payroll number coming out. Now looking at the market, starting out with the Forex symbols, the euro continues to trickle lower. Now looking at the indices, the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ, mostly unchanged in pre-market trading. Now looking at commodities, gold sitting on its resistance while natural gas gets a bounce. Now we're not going to cover the stocks because the market was closed yesterday due to Jimmy Carter's presidential funeral. And lastly, looking at cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin bouncing off support. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here we go. First with the Euro USD. What's interesting is that the Euro USD was playing catch up to the GBP. Remember, we spoke about that yesterday, and sure enough, it's just a little bit lower, but it's coming close to testing its lows, a 102.40-ish level. We're at 102.95, which is lower than 103. Now, that is an important element, but I would use this supportish level as a double bottom, perhaps. Okay, GBP continued to free fall here as it just bouncing. And if we look at a 1 hour chart, you can see it just bouncing a little bit. But we got to see if it's going to kind of restrict itself in this area. 122.90-ish level is where we're at right now. Now it's another week, and guess what? Another low for the Turkish Lira. We're actually showing a big gap up this morning, relatively big gap up for a Turkish Lira to 35.37, and that is not getting stronger. Now the Canadian dollar got a little bit stronger here if we look at a daily chart, but gave up some of its gains and inching closer its lows. Okay, we'll see how this politics between Donald Trump and Canada unfolds, still making it the 51st straight, which is really ridiculous, but you know, I kind of get it. If you understand his strategy, you kind of understand why he's doing it. Don't want to do it right now. But jumping into commodities, let's take a look at gold. Gold pushes higher to 26.75, a nice little push above that 26.63, which we're grappling with. Next real resistance level, we do have a minor resistance level at this area, but next real resistance level is 27.17. Now, crude oil did wake up again back to its 74.51 as it's inching higher to its $75-ish range. Okay, and if it does break that, then we're hitting new highs. Now we haven't been in this area for quite some time. Okay, so this is really very important to note that we are just below the 200-day moving average, which is super important. Now jumping to the US markets. Now the markets were closed yesterday in observance to Jimmy Carter's funeral. Okay, there is an interesting clip out there with Donald Trump and Obama sitting next to each other needing to talk about something, which is quite interesting. But the markets are really unchanged this morning. Okay, if we look at it in a very tight range right now. Okay, if we look at the NASDAQ as well, it's at the bottom of its range. Okay, so likely to see how this is going to unfold, especially how this NFP number is going to come out. Now, looking at the stocks, okay, I'm not going to cover it because we covered it yesterday, but looking at Bitcoin, this is where it becomes super interesting. Bitcoin is for a cryptocurrency, it's a cryptocurrency that has a lot of capital in it, which it means that there's a lot of liquidity in it. Okay, well, liquidity means that there could be more character because there's more than one person trading it. Okay, if you have 100 million people trading a particular asset and you have 1,000 people trading another particular asset, it's easy for one big fish from 1,000 people to move that market for that smaller asset. Now, Bitcoin is a huge asset and it's got a lot of people trading it. And we're bouncing off of these lows here, which is a double bottom, which I like to see because that really means that 91.83 for now is a solidified supportish area for Bitcoin. Doesn't mean it has to be in the future, but for right now, it is holding itself and bouncing off of it. So that was a nice little opportunity the other day just to pick it up from yesterday to today. After we hit a nice little spark up above 100, I believe we're going to be trading in this area until we break out. Okay, and when we do, that's going to be another case scenario. So keep that in mind. Now looking at the NFP today, just be careful because the market is volatile. It's January, we generally rally, so we're looking for some positive news to bring the markets back up. So that's something to look forward to today. This is Fed Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.